Welcome to Boxscore Studio, where the stats speak, the stories hit harder, and every take comes straight off the playbook. Let's talk sports.
Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Boxscore Sports with Rudy Campos Jr. and of course with a very welcoming guest here, Jose Matos of Critical Condition Podcast.
Yes, sir. Critical Condition Sports.
Critical Condition Sports. You're going to get myself, you're going to get Jose here on Boxscore Sports, and also shout out to the Answer Now. It's TV on YouTube. The Sports Answer is probably the fastest growing sports show on that radio station right now, or on their YouTube radio station page. So shout out to them. You'll be seeing myself and Jose on the Sports Answer as well. Derek Irvin's going to be back in there for us in just a little bit. Also, Coach Gio's going to be joining us here. But again, this is episode 1 of Boxscore Sports, part of Boxscore Studios. It's fun, Jose. I'm glad to finally be doing and collabing with you. Hopefully, we're going to be doing this for a very, very long time. Nobody's going to get tired of us because you know everything and anything about sports. I've talked to you for many years. We've collabed on some stuff before. It's just going to be fun, man. It's going to be a lot of fun doing this.
Hell yeah, man. Looking forward to it.
Awesome, man. So what we do here, obviously everybody was like sad about Sweep the League, and we tell them, hey, it's a rebrand. We're not going anywhere. We're just doing something different. We're graduating from middle school and high school to the college and the pro levels. But first things first, man, we've got massive college football games this Thanksgiving weekend. Starts off Friday. Starts off tomorrow because this is a Thanksgiving show here. We're going to be releasing it today on Thanksgiving. Texas and Texas A&M. Now, this is probably the big daddy for you and I because we both live in Texas, and that rivalry is back, man. And, you know, going into the season, Texas, number 1, you know, number 2 on people's list as well. The defense was all you could hear, but Arch Manning taking the steps, and then all of a sudden, it just started to crumble throughout the season. We've seen the best, we've seen the worst of Arch Manning. One thing that we have seen consistently throughout the season was the Texas A&M Fighting Aggies. They are number 3 in the country, well on their way to an SEC title game, well on their way to a CFP, berth. But going into this game, is there any opportunity you give Texas to beat the Aggies and basically spoil this undefeated season? Regardless, to be honest, Jose, the Aggies are going to get into the CFP. There's no doubt about that. But
I agree.
Can Texas really, really, really put a hurting on the Aggies this weekend?
Look, I think with this matchup, it's very interesting, right? Because here we have on one side, we have Arch Manning, right? A very hyped about prospect. And let's just call a spade, Rudy. If his last name was Arch Matos, we probably wouldn't be talking about this guy. That would have already been benched. So obviously the Manning last name, he's been a very polarizing figure. And I say that just because he's had so much hype. They called him the greatest thing since sliced bread, right? And you saw consensus mock drafts. That's all the talk. Number one. But we've seen this before, Rudy. We've seen this before. Now, let's just be honest. He hasn't been that good. When it really matters the most, he hasn't been that good. They escaped Kentucky. They escaped Mississippi State. Okay. Yeah. But the thing about Texas is that defense, man, is legit. The defense is legit. And when you have a legit defense, Rudy, doesn't matter the game, man. They can keep you in. Okay. And we saw that against Oklahoma where, some people were shorting Texas there and they thought that was the end and they managed to pull that out. I also think rivalry games can get weird. The unexplainable. I mean, the line, you would think that A&M going into this would be like a 6.5 to 9.5 point favorite, but A&M's only favorite 2.5, man.
Yeah, exactly. And
so
it's rivalry. You throw away the records, brother. You mentioned you just throw away the records. There's 0-0 when it comes to rivalry games. And you brought up the defense. Looking at A&M, I mean, they had their toughest test was maybe Notre Dame, where they won 41-40 early in the season. They struggled mightily with South Carolina, with Lenora Sellers playing in that game. Now, is A&M beatable? Very much so.
I agree.
I mean, outside of Notre Dame and the tough, time that they had against South Carolina, their biggest competition was what, Missouri. I mean, I wouldn't even consider LSU competition because
No.
they've been really down all season. But Missouri, they really didn't have a whole. They had a little bit of trouble with Auburn. I'm trying to remember some other games in there. Possibly Arkansas, if I remember. I think they won by 3 against Arkansas. So A&M is beatable. And if any team's going to do it, it's going to be the Longhorns with that defense. The problem I have is like you mentioned with Arch Manning. He's been talked about, hey, he's going to be the concessions #1 pick. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. You're right. If it was Arch Campos or Arch Matos, it'd be like you and I talking about UTSA football, just another guy at the quarterback position. But no, his last name is Manning. He has shown out very less this year than he has shown up. And that's the problem I have. Is it maybe in his mind to say, screw what we've done lately and in the past this season. Let's focus on this. Why? This could potentially be that game that doesn't turn around this season, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's next season. Arch isn't coming out this year. There's no way he's coming out.
No.
He's going to be back. So say he goes back to Texas. Is this that game where you feel if they knock out A&M, this is that turnaround? This is that confidence builder that Arch gets.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's one of the guys that's playing for his job, man. It's crazy as it sounds, because with the payroll that Texas is doing, the payroll that Texas is having here, and people are telling me, yeah, he needs more time to start. I agree. But dude, this is the NIL era now. People are paying money for this, okay? You're telling me donors are going to be spending whatever they spend, over $20 million in NIL just to go with a couple of 9, 8-win seasons, 10-win seasons. That's not the standard with Texas, man. And it's kind of crazy because what was it before Sark got there? They were a dumpster fire. But Sarkisian, they got some pressure here. And the thing is, obviously, the pressure's on Arch because Sark will just kick him out. He'll have to have a long conversation about this.
Yeah, and that was the other part too. Sark, it's funny because myself and Gio talked a long time ago about this, and actually before the season started, I really felt this was Sark's make or break season with Texas. If they didn't get to that, let alone the CFP, they just didn't get to the national championship game with the team that they had, I figured Sark would be on the hot seat. And that's something that I still feel like to this day, because Sark has made it known the past couple of weeks, hey, you know what? Let me get a feel for certain jobs, maybe NFL jobs. He has his people looking at other places as well. So could this be if A&M comes in and they just destroy Texas? Could we possibly see Sark on his way out? Which, if that happens, there's a certain coach down I-35 at UTSA who's not having the best season, but who has that pipeline when it comes to recruiting all the way up and down Texas and its surrounding areas. But Sark on the hot seat, a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being hot, I actually got Sark on about 8.5 right now. If they lose to A&M, it's burning. It's like massively fire right now.
Yeah, I disagree, man. I disagree because of the fact, now if they go out there and they lose 50-0, or they have what A&M did to LSU,
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because people talk about the strength of schedule with A&M, right? Dude, A&M's getting people fired. A&M's getting people fired. True. Okay, people are saying, oh, they're going up against coaches that have already been fired. Yeah, A&M's getting people fired. Okay, now if A&M goes out there and hangs 50 on them and it's like a 50-10 kind of game, then maybe I can kind of see where they would want to pivot. But let's be honest. What in the world was Texas before? And I know there's Texas fans out there that are talking about this, and I know the brand. I understand the power of the brand. Rudy, that's a big reason why we're watching this game. That's why there's a big reason why this is going to do a good number. But what the hell was Texas before Sark got there? Sark helped turn them around, and they've gone to 2 semifinals, 2 Final Fours here, okay? Semifinals in the CFP.
Mm-hmm.
And again, because people are going to criticize Arch, and I understand, look, he's going to get some of the blame for sure. But what can you do? What kind of play call can you do when your quarterback can't complete an out route? What play design can you do when your quarterback just isn't very good? And Arch right now isn't very good.
Yeah,
I think the pressure's all on Arch right here. He needs to deliver. It's one if he loses a 38-35 shootout. That's fine. That's respectable. But Arch has to perform here. He doesn't have to win. He has to perform.
So let's get our final predictions in here for A&M and for Texas. So again, it's a battle here. Could Texas potentially upset Texas A&M? It's there. I think Texas's defense, it's legit. Could they finally show up and just shut down a top-ranked team, number 3 team in the country, a team that has been pretty dominant throughout the entire season? My prediction is this, Jose. I think Sark, yes, I've got him on the hot seat. I've had him on the hot seat at the beginning of the season. I really think that Texas goes into this game. They have their backs against the wall. Sark is like, you know what? And Sark is like, it's me, everybody else, it's us against the world, basically. And you know what? I think we see chaos, man. I think Arch has a brilliant game. I think Sarkisian puts him in a really, really, really good path. I think he makes it super simple. I think the defense shows up. The crowd at DKR is going to be rabid because they finally got this game back here. Guess what? I'm going with the upset here. I'm going with 31-28. Texas wins on a field goal. Give me the horns on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take A&M. One of the scariest part about this A&M team is their defensive line, the way they bully people. I don't think the Texas offensive line is very good. I think we'll see a classic. I think Arch seeing ghost kind of scenario there. I just think that the offense is going to struggle unless that Texas defense, which is very capable, can force turnovers and keep Arch on a short field there.
Yeah.
I just there's no way I can. There's no way I can take Texas in this, man. So I'll go A&M.
Going A&M, you got a score prediction, or you just want to go straight out A&M?
Like you know what? I'm not big on the score predictions. I do believe though A&M covers the 2.5.
Okay, that's fair enough right there. Moving on, man. We got another big game now. This one again could have some pretty big implications on what happens throughout the season. You talk rivalries in college basketball. You've got Duke, North Carolina. In football, it's always Ohio State against Michigan. Biggest rivalry in college football. Now, obviously, Ohio State number 1, going up against Michigan at number 15. Does it have the lackluster, from past years? Hell no, man. Like you mentioned earlier, rivalry is rivalry. It's Ohio State, it's Michigan. This is a game where, again, can Michigan do enough to get, to knock off Ohio State, to make the darlings Indiana get bumped up one more spot and become number 1 in the country? I don't know, man. Michigan, Ohio State. I fully think Ohio State wins this game, and I think they kind of handle business the way that they have been all season. But could the possibility be there for Michigan to say, you know what? Let me get the pass to the likes of Lloyd Carr and Jim Harbaugh and a lot of these guys and say, you know what? We're gonna go out there and we're gonna win one here. Let's get Tom Brady back out of the tunnel and all these guys. Does Michigan have a legit shot against Ohio State this weekend?
Very interesting, man. I thought last year was going to be the year where Ohio State just mollywops Michigan. Obviously, you saw what happened. Michigan was playing with good old Chip Kelly there. And I say that just because Chip Kelly's game plan was terrible. And we just saw him get fired in the NFL.
Yeah.
But, he's made his money. He's fine. But point being, though, I thought that last year was going to be the year. I'm going to go ahead and say this year, man, because just last year was such an embarrassment. It was such an embarrassment. There's a good because I believe last year was the first year of the CFP, from when it expanded. That if it wasn't for that, Ryan Day probably would have gotten fired. That's how despicable that loss was perceived among people. And I do believe it was a terrible loss. It was a terrible loss, Rudy. I mean,
it was bad.
The spread's only 10 right now. Meaning, and that's the game is at Michigan, meaning that, for the viewers out there, you get a field goal if you're the home team, plus 10. So they're thinking that Ohio State is about 2 touchdowns favorites. I think it's going to be a very big coaching mismatch. I don't quite know if I'm comfortable laying the 10 if I'm for Ohio State, but I do believe that Ohio State should be able to win this game. I think this is the year they right that wrong.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State's been looking good all season long, and I think this is the year. You're right. I definitely take Ohio State this year. They stick to number 1. I think we get that. It's crazy, man, to think. Ohio State, you think, oh, you got Ohio State, Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah.
You got all these teams, but now it's like it's Ohio State, Indiana, which kind of funny. Last season, when we were doing sweeps with Coach Gio and Derek, Gio was all over Indiana, so that's the team to watch. And sure enough, Kurt Signetti comes in there, boom, Indiana's there. Now this year, it's like, you know what? We're not even a basketball school anymore. We
Yeah.
are a football school. Indiana's a football school as long as Kurt Signetti's there. But this week, you've got Ohio State, you've got Michigan. I'm going to take Ohio State. And this is the game that is going to be one of those games you've got to watch. And there's other games that we're going to talk about real quick here before we get to some quick NFL talk. Georgia Tech. Obviously, Georgia at 4, Georgia Tech at number 23. Georgia Tech coming off a bad loss to Pittsburgh that kind of screwed their whole CFP chances.
Yeah.
Does Georgia Tech right that wrong now? Because they've struggled against Georgia, obviously, in past years, but Georgia Tech has the capabilities and the upset capabilities to really put Georgia in a tailspin here. Again, a team that I don't think gets knocked out of the CFP if they lose, but it does affect the rankings somewhere in there. They are playing at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, so kind of a wash. I mean, you got both Georgia teams in there. Shout out to Chick-fil-A. They're going to be open finally in a football game there because they're never open on Sundays for Falcon games. But I want to say Georgia takes care of business still. But man, it's something tells me that my heart says Georgia wins, and that's who I'm taking. But my stomach turns when I look at Georgia Tech and think of the upsets that they've pulled in the past couple of years, man.
Yeah, I mean, they've had a great year. I just don't think they're at the level of Georgia. I mean, now 14 point, the line is at 14 points right now. So again, kind of uncomfortable because Georgia Tech can run the football. The bad part is where it went wrong with Pitt is that the defense was allowing explosive plays. Okay. And they were letting Pitt move up and down all over the field. You thought they would have been playing Alabama or something. But I do question the Georgia Tech defense. They got burned last week. I don't think it's going to be a good matchup there. Gunnar Stockton's not afraid to sling the ball.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing that scares me about Georgia is they can't always run the ball effectively, but I do believe that Gunnar Stockton's got enough juice. I do believe they win.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Georgia. I mean, Haynes King has been, king pretty much every week when it comes to Georgia Tech, and that's the scary part. If he gets going, we've seen him do, wonders. So could Haynes King definitely become king of Georgia for one more day? We'll find out. I'm taking Georgia. I believe Jose's taking Georgia as well. We're both taking them. Other games to watch. You got the Iron Bowl, obviously. Alabama, Auburn. Auburn's not much to speak of anymore. I think Bama's taking care of that game right there. One game that, one team, and it's the last team in, Tulane, the Green Wave.
Yeah.
I've fought all year with this right here because, yes, Tulane deserves it. They're going to come out on top of the American Conference. They deserve it. But then I've looked at teams like James Madison. The Dukies they're very much capable of getting that opportunity. Tulane plays Charlotte. They've got a game, obviously the American Championship. That's going to be a close one to watch because if they so happen to lose somewhere in between here and there, I think they could technically be out. And you may see James Madison take that leap above them. You got any idea? What are your thoughts maybe on Tulane? I mean, could they falter somewhere here, possibly in that American Championship game?
I mean, they should beat Charlotte. I think Charlotte. I don't even have that number on.
They're 1-10.
But I know they're one of the worst teams in the country. No offense to them. But I think Tulane should be able to take care of business against Charlotte. It's just going to be a matter of who they play. I personally, obviously they have the quarterback. It's been a good year for Tulane. They got that quarterback out of BYU. For transfer. Let's just say that. Good old, what is it? Retzel. I can't pronounce his name for the life.
I think it's Retzel is who it is.
Yeah. Retzelboff or something like that. Honestly, it doesn't even matter though. I can't pretend to tell you, Rudy, that I've been watching a lot of Tulane football there. I've seen the quarterback there. He's all right. Doesn't really stick out. I saw most of his tape from BYU last year. He's all right. He's got a good arm. No wow factor, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that if they should beat Charlotte. So that American Conference game, it's going to come down to right now. It'd be North Texas, who, again, North Texas is a team that
the true freshman.
Yeah, I mean, that's another team that could get in if they beat Tulane in the American Conference Championship. You still have the Navy midshipmen. I don't think Navy gets in, even if they win the American. I don't think they pick Navy. The outside opportunities of James Madison, the Dukies getting in there, it's still alive. So shout out. I have a couple of listeners from the University of James Madison University.
Their
So
quarterback is interesting.
very interesting. Very interesting.
Alonzo Barrett.
Yeah, I mean, I like what I've seen out of James Madison. Do they get in? I don't know, man. Either North Texas or Tulane are probably going to be one of the two teams to get in, depending who comes out of that American Conference Championship. Unless, like I said, Tulane falters this weekend. Charlotte decides, hey, you know what? We're calling up Ric Flair. We're getting some woos and everything. He's wearing, the alligator boots and all that stuff. Who knows, man? But yeah, I wanted to bring that up to your attention as well. A couple more games just to get into. You got, of course, a top 20 matchup at Vanderbilt, Tennessee. No real major complications there. LSU takes on Oklahoma. The chances of LSU beating Oklahoma pretty slim, but again, that could upset a whole lot there. Miami, Pittsburgh. That was the one that I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about as well. Pittsburgh definitely coming off the Georgia Tech. They're playing against Miami. Now, Miami, again, one of the teams atop the ACC. So could Pittsburgh really do some damage and screw Miami of the possibility of the chance of getting into a CFP? Could lightning strike twice where Pittsburgh may play, spoiler for some team?
It'd be very interesting. I think no one else is rooting harder for Pitt than Vanderbilt right now.
Yes.
Right. Because I'm just personally out on this Miami team, Rudy. I don't take him serious. I think Cristobal's a great recruiter, man. X's and the O's. Obviously, there's criticisms there. I'm out on the quarterback, man. Carson Beck, I'm out. I've been out on that guy. I've been on. There's no way. And I texted a couple of my scouting buddies. Yeah. And they're all out. They know teams that have this dude off their board. I'm just out on this guy. Now, is he a good college quarterback? I think he's functional. He can function in college. But when you think about this guy, man, and what a joke, man. Just what a joke this guy's been, man. So I am not a Carson Beck. I'm not a Carson Beck fan. You know what I mean? I'm throwing the teammates under the bus, crying about, how hard life was, driving a Lambo. And I know maybe it might sound harsh there, but the guy's just not a very good quarterback, Rudy. He's not.
He's not a very good.
It's not. But now we're grading the team, right? We're grading the team, but I just think with that guy being your quarterback, you're just going to be held back, bro.
Oh yeah, man. Carson Beck, like you mentioned, driving the Lambo. He's such a hard life. I can't even walk into Walmart and buy a Hot Wheel Lambo right now. I don't have Carson Beck money, so there's no way I can do that. But yeah, I actually kind of like Pittsburgh in this game. I think Pittsburgh will get the W over Miami. I'm going to take them over Miami, and it's going to be a very interesting weekend because the ACC is right now. It's Pittsburgh, Virginia, and SMU all at 6-1. So we're going to see how that plays out, ruining chances for a lot of teams that everybody thought, Georgia Tech, Miami, who would be there at the end. Even Louisville, man. People are picking Louisville to make the CFP beginning of the season, and a lot of people are seeing Louisville's not even that team. It's Jose, it's Rudy. This is Boxscore Sports, and we're going to be coming to you sometimes live. We're going to be coming to you sometimes, recorded. But either way, you're going to get both of us here on Boxscore Sports. Also, watch for both of us on Sports Answer, part of Answer Now TV. Last things, man, we want to get into some NFL talk. So, kind of playing with the crystal ball, kind of playing with the mock draft situation here, and I don't like talking about Cowboys a lot because everybody talks about the Dallas Cowboys. But interesting thing here, you want to build the defense. And I brought to you a proposal. I said, you know what? Hey, Cleveland's got 2 first-round picks in this draft coming up. The Cowboys, thanks to the Micah Parsons trade. They get 2 first-round picks because they get Green Bay. So we saw Myles Garrett unhappy in Cleveland. The Browns obviously paid him money, decided to stay. Could they still move on from Myles Garrett? Possibilities there. If the Cowboys throw picks, say, hey, you know what, Cleveland, we'll give you our 12 and 22, send us back your 19, send us back in Myles. We'll also throw a couple more first-round picks in there for you. Cowboys get Myles Garrett and that 19th pick in 2026. Cleveland sitting pretty with 3 first-round picks now in this draft. Thoughts on that? Myles Garrett in the silver and blue in Jerry world, adding to what Micah Parsons left. I don't know, man. I mean, call me crazy. It could work out. Jerry's done really, and everybody blames Jerry. I make fun of Jerry because it's fun to do. But if you look at it, he's kind of like the Brian Wright when it comes to San Antonio Spurs. He's making some weird moves, but eventually you kind of look like, well, you know what? They panned out. Could this be a weird move that we may see possibly that they may discuss in the offseason?
Well, I think, look, anyone would want Myles Garrett on their team. I mean, 18 sacks, right? He's on pace to get 30. He's gonna smash that all-time season sack record, right?
Yep.
I just don't think it's enough, though. I don't think it's enough. I think that if I'm Cleveland and this guy destroys this record, man, he looks like he is not slowing down. I know age is a factor, but if you called me and offered me the picks, man, I'd hang up the phone. And I'd only hang up the phone just because I'd want more. I'd want like 3 to 4 picks for this guy. I know people are calling me crazy, but you know what? Myles Garrett isn't available. He isn't available. The team had a chance to trade him. This guy made it easy for you. He is a staple for your team. He made it easy. He asked for this trade, and they just owe him a bunch of money, right? Yeah. So they didn't do it. I just think ownership is very stubborn. Myles Garrett on any team would be great. I just think that the price would be a lot more expensive to get this guy, and I just don't think the Browns are going to move off him.
Yeah, and I think if he kind of demands it again in the offseason, kind of maybe have to consider it. I mean, is it fair-fetched to say that Jerry is crazy enough to offer 4 first-round picks plus maybe a 6 in there somewhere? I mean, how many picks would it take for Jose to say, you know what? Okay, we're going to send Myles your way. What would be the ideal package for you if you're sitting in Cleveland and I'm Jerry Jones and I'm a billionaire and I've got my oil in my backyard, Jose, and I call you up, hey, man, you tell me, what do you want for Myles Garrett? What is the ideal trade package for Jose?
I'd want at least your 2 picks this year without giving you 1 back right now. I'd give you a swap, but I want 2 next year. I'd want at least 5 to 6 picks. I'd probably want at least 3 first rounders, 2 second rounders, a third rounder, and I'd probably take a player.
That's, you know what? You remind me of Jimmy Johnson there. I mean, that's pretty much what you're looking at. You're looking at some way you can make a Jimmy Johnson for a Herschel Walker type deal. I mean, but it's not out of the ordinary. I mean, to do a player like that. Now,
no, it's not.
Think about that. Say you get a Herschel Walker package. Cleveland, they could build a pretty damn good roster with those types of picks and a player swap in return. I mean, they possibly could, man. But I would say your trade package probably not far off from what I would ask at all when it comes to Myles.
You can give them 10 picks. It's the Browns. I don't trust them. I don't have any faith in them. Look how many quarterbacks they've run through.
Who's been their best QB? Like Tim Couch? Was their best one?
Saying, dude, I don't even remember watching them play. It's been that long. I do not trust this front office to get it right, get it done right. And you know what annoys me? What annoys me is that people aren't like, they give Stefanski and they give Andrew Berry some sort of pass.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, they're crapping on McDaniel. I don't know. Last time I checked, man, Mike McDaniel's won a couple 10 win seasons, man. Mike McDaniel's been to the playoffs a couple times. When's the last time these guys have gone there? They've won 1 playoff game since 2020.
Yeah.
So I will always bet against Cleveland. Always. Just like I'm always going to bet against the Raiders. They just don't get it right.
So the Raiders this year, when they said, oh, we're signing Pete Carroll, he's our new head coach, we're getting Geno Smith, it's almost like I felt every Raider fan just turn the TV off and say, okay, I'm kind of calling it in this year. Ashton Genty, great pick, but I'm a firm believer I don't ever pick a running back in the first round.
I agree with you. I agree with you, man. I don't. I would prioritize offensive, defensive line, especially when you are you can get running backs in the 5th, 6th, 7th round. And I just don't think Genty is anything special. I think he's a good player. I root for him, but he's no Bijan Robinson. He's no Christian McCaffrey. He still has a lot to be desired, man.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, even with Bijan, as a Falcon fan, I was very upset they took Bijan Robinson in the first round. I get the talent level. I
Yeah.
really do. But I mean, when you have other positions on that team that weigh heavily more than running back, and you just want the explosiveness of a running back, what good is Bijan Robinson going to do if your offensive line is nothing but band-aids and bandages, and you're trying to, you still have to protect your quarterback. You can't hand the ball off to your Bijan if you can't protect your quarterback. Then not only that, they get Michael Penix, a couple of years after that or a year after that.
Yeah.
That was a terrible pick. So even with Jahmyr Gibbs, I get it. I totally get it. But the Lions at the time were already fundamentally built. They were solid. So then you can go and do that. Majority of the teams are not like that. And Ashton Genty, I think he was just drafted to sell tickets, to be honest with you, is all it was.
Yeah. I mean, offense sells tickets, right?
Yeah. Everybody loves the offense. What is it? Chicks dig the long ball, man. So, of course, you're going to do something like that, man. But, hey, that's a perfect trade package. I mean, saying 7 picks for Myles Garrett, that's not out of the realm.
There's no way this guy's gonna. I don't know, man. I dropped the line. If someone told me I want 4 picks, I think 3 would be pushing it, man. But I wouldn't be giving away. I wouldn't be giving away those kind of picks. I mean, I don't know, man. Three's kind of pushing it.
We've seen crazier things happen in the sports world. I mean, we saw Luka Doncic get traded when we were all asleep. So we've seen a whole bunch of stuff happen, man. Jose, you know what? This is the first episode of Boxscore Sports. We've got a whole lot more coming up for everybody out there. Let them know what you're doing over at Critically Conditioned Sports, man, because you just dropped an episode with Rob Parker, who I've been trying to get Rob forever. Me and Rob are going to go toe-to-toe one day when I finally get him.
Yeah, Rob's a good guy. Yeah, that episode's available now, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast from. You can follow at Critical Condition Sports for any more updates on some guests.
There you go, man. Jose Matos joining me here on Boxscore Sports. And it's not the first time. It's not going to be the last time. It's going to be just about every time. You're going to see myself and Jose working a lot of stuff here. We're going to be doing multiple shows when we can. He's going to be joining me on the Sports Answer. So be sure to follow Boxscore Studios on YouTube. It was the old Sweep the League network. It's now Boxscore Studios. You can get myself. You can get Jose there. You can get also Grading the Market. Sports Answer is on Answer Now TV. So for Jose, it's Rudy Campos Jr. We're going to open up that box score. We're going to check those stats. I guarantee you, Jose and I are going to be 1 and 2 on those stats in the box score sheet. Till we get to you guys next time, we'll see you later.
This is Boxscore Studio. Breaking it down, calling it real, and keeping you one step ahead of the game. Catch you on the next one.